Hey everyone, and welcome to our deep dive, this time into Marilyn Monroe's boudoir.
Oh, yeah.
It's it's fascinating, right? I mean, we all
Very.
know Marilyn as this icon, this bombshell, but
Right.
what about her personal space? Like, what can we learn about her from this very private room?
Well, it's so interesting you say that because we often think of personal spaces as these
Yeah, yeah.
reflections of our inner selves. And with Marilyn, it's even more fascinating because, she very carefully crafted this public image.
Yes.
So what happens when the cameras are off and she's at home surrounded by, decor that she's chosen?
Exactly. And that's what we are going to dive into today.
Yeah.
And we've got some really great excerpts to dig through,
Yes.
focusing on the design and the influences of her boudoir. And I got to say, one of the things that really struck me going through this material was just how intentional it all seemed.
Oh, yeah.
Like it wasn't just a collection of beautiful things. There's a
Yeah.
real thoughtfulness to how it was all put together.
Absolutely. And, even just starting with the color palette, you can tell it's a very deliberate choice.
Right.
I mean, think about it. You've got those blush pinks, the creamy whites, and then those touches of deep red.
Yeah, it's not the like super glitzy over the top Hollywood,
Yeah. Or not at all.
I don't know what I was expecting, but that's not what I got.
Right. It's much softer, more intimate.
Yeah.
Those colors create this sense of warmth and femininity.
Right.
But then you have those hints of passion with the red, which is like a little reminder. This
Yeah.
is still Marilyn Monroe we're talking about.
Yeah, it's like she's almost playing with her expectations, right?
Right.
You come in expecting maybe like this blinding white,
Right.
I don't know, clinical kind of space.
Exactly.
And instead, it's like this warm embrace.
Yeah, and that warmth extends to the furniture, too. It's luxurious,
Yeah.
of course, but
Sure.
also inviting those chaise lounges and velvet sofas.
Yeah.
They just scream relaxation.
Right. But it's not just about being comfortable, right?
Yeah.
Like the way they're arranged makes me think that she really did envision like conversations happening there.
Absolutely.
Maybe even photo shoots.
Oh, for sure.
It's all very deliberate.
Yeah, there's a flow to the room.
Speaking of flow, can we talk about the lighting?
Oh, absolutely.
Because it seems like that played a huge role in setting the mood.
Huge, huge role. I mean, you've got the mix of chandeliers and then the bedside lamps.
Right.
And a lot of them had dimmers.
Oh, yeah.
Which,
Wow.
shows she really understood how light can transform a space.
It's true. Like, even in my own house, I notice how different it feels at different times of day, depending on the natural light coming in. But she could, like, orchestrate that feeling
Right.
anytime with those dimmers.
Whenever she wanted, yeah.
It's genius.
It is.
And speaking of orchestration, let's talk about those personal touches, because
Oh, yeah, this is where it gets good.
this is where I feel like we really start to see beyond the Marilyn
Right.
and get a glimpse of Norma Jean, the woman behind the icon.
Exactly, because you have the art pieces, the
Yeah.
sculptures, the
Yeah.
photographs.
The photographs,
Yeah.
the film memorabilia, all of that. It's like she's inviting us into this conversation
Mm-hmm.
about her life and her passion.
It's like every piece has a story to tell.
Absolutely.
Speaking of stories, we can't forget about the last sitting photo shoot with Douglas Kirkland.
Oh my gosh.
Those photographs are so iconic, and they were taken right there in her boudoir.
I know. Isn't that amazing?
It's incredible to think that those photos taken just months before her passing
Right?
have become almost as famous as the space itself.
They really have.
And they capture such a sense of vulnerability and intimacy.
Absolutely.
And I feel like the boudoir setting really adds to that feeling.
Oh, 100%.
The soft lighting, the luxurious fabrics, the carefully chosen artwork.
Yes.
It all comes together to create this incredibly evocative backdrop.
You're really hitting on something important here, which is the way the design of the space
Yeah.
helps tell a story.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just a random collection of beautiful things. It's
Yeah.
all very intentional.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I think that's what makes Marilyn Monroe's boudoir so fascinating.
Yeah.
It's a glimpse into her world, both the public persona and the private woman.
Mm.
It's a testament to her personal style and her ability to create a space that was both beautiful and meaningful.
It really makes you think, how much are we shaping our spaces?
Yeah.
And how much are they shaping us?
Mhm.
Think about those places where you feel most yourself.
Right.
What does that say about you?
That's a great question to ponder.
Isn't it?
And as we delve deeper into the design elements and the lasting legacy of Marilyn's boudoir,
Mm-hmm.
I think you'll find yourself considering your own personal spaces